Will you get this man to say strategic intervention a few more times?
Okay. Oh, okay. Is that it? That's what
Yeah, because I don't remember you saying. I don't remember being like that was a clean one.
Scenario 3.
Strategic intervention.
Strategic intervention. A major part of behaviour management is picking your battles. We can decide whether or not a behaviour needs to be managed or a situation needs to be dealt with based on whether or not any harm is being caused. We can ask 3 questions. Is the behaviour harming others? Is the behaviour harming themselves? Is the behaviour disrupting the activity? In many cases, where the answer is no to all 3 questions, we can save ourselves and the young person a lot of grief just by letting it be. Let's get into a few scenarios. Let's say at Soccer Stars, participants formed 2 lines facing each other on the field. Each person had a partner, and the activity involved them taking in turns passing a soccer ball back and forth. After each round, participants are asked to rotate, getting new partners for the next round.
Scenario 1. 2 young people have paired up with each other at the end of the lines and refuse to change partners after each round. Effect? There's no harm to self, no harm to others, and no disruption to the activity. The intervention? No intervention is required. Even though they aren't following the rules exactly, it's discreet and they aren't disrupting the activity. They are playing the game we wanted them to play, they just don't want to swap partners. The only harm being caused is that they're not socialising with anyone else. But over time, there'll be many other opportunities through the various soccer drills and games for them to get out of their comfort zones, mix with others, and develop teamwork. In this case, there's no need to force them to swap partners. It'll just make us and the young people stressed and unhappy.
Scenario 2. 2 young people have paired up with each other in the middle of the group and refuse to change partners after each round. The other young people are having to walk around them and it is quite distracting. The effect? No harm to self. Slight disruption to others in their activity. Intervention. Ask the pair to move to one end of the group. In this scenario, it's a bit more obvious that the pair aren't changing partners and they're in the way of other participants who need to navigate around them. We can ask them to move to the edge of the group so they're causing less interference with the other participants, but they still get to stay together, which will minimise conflict.
Scenario 3. 2 young people pair up with one another in the middle of the group and they're very disengaged. Instead of participating in the passing drill, they begin to take the balls off the other young people and kick them away. The effect? No harm to self, but harm to others and disruption to the activity. Intervention. Firstly, address the behaviour properly. The pair didn't meet Soccer Stars' behavioural standards because they were affecting their peers and disrupting the activity. You first address their behaviour to remind them of the standards. Second, remove the pair from the group if required. As they weren't following the rules, they were removed from the activity. This demonstrates your boundaries to the young people. Once they agree to participate civilly again, invite them to rejoin with no grudges held. If they agree to participate in a way that respects the behavioural standards of Soccer Stars, you allow them to rejoin the activity. This gives them the chance to opt back into the group of their own will, and you can welcome them back into the group.
Scenario number 4. One of the young people from the pair attacks another young person physically after not being paired with their friend in the drill. Blows are landed before the facilitators are able to separate the young people. The victim of the attack now has a black eye. The effect? There's physical harm to others and a disruption of the program. The intervention. The young person who attacked their peer is to be immediately removed from the group. For the safety of all participants, you must remove a young person from the situation who is in a heightened state that may lead to violent actions. The victim of the attack is to be given appropriate first aid. We must ensure the safety of all young people on our program, which includes giving people first aid who are injured. Once the young person who attacked their peer has had a chance to come down, there needs to be a conversation where you A, acknowledge the behaviour, B, the child is given the opportunity to explain their actions, and C, you explain the consequences of their actions and the actions that you are now going to take. This step involves separating the young person from their behaviour. Have a calm and empathetic conversation with them where you discuss why their actions were inappropriate for Soccer Stars and the consequences. Encourage them to ask questions or share feelings and use this as an opportunity to teach them coping strategies for strong emotions.
Due to the harm caused, to protect the standards of the program and the safety of the participants, the child must be sent home. The young person's parent or guardian is contacted to inform them of the incident, letting them know that their child hit another child and that they will now need to come and collect them. The young person is given the opportunity to apologise to their peer if possible. When someone has done something wrong, giving them an opportunity to fix or seek redemption for their mistake is important. Allowing space for an apology can bring closure to the situation. Decide if they will be allowed back into the program next session. If the incident is a one-time occurrence, the next session involves welcoming them back while being clear that what they did last time was unacceptable. Avoid holding a grudge. A simple reminder is sufficient. If this incident is a part of a pattern of behaviour, to reduce the likelihood of further outbursts, set extra boundaries as a part of their participation in the program. For example, they may be only allowed to join certain activities or stay for a certain amount of time. Remember, the focus should be on creating a welcoming atmosphere for the young person, emphasising their inclusion in the program, rather than solely focusing on controlling their behaviour.
So in each case we asked, what is the harm to self? What is the harm to others? What is the disruption to the activity or the program? In doing a really quick cost-benefit analysis of these three questions, we can save ourselves a lot of grief because often we'll find we don't actually need the behaviour to change. Moreover, the young people see you as more chill and they're more likely to listen to you in the future and your future instructions because A, they're more comfortable with you because they don't feel you're nagging them about every little thing, and B, they know you don't just give out instructions for the sake of it. So if you're telling them to do something, you likely have quite a good reason. Adopting a more calm, relaxed, and selective approach will lead to less challenging behaviours overall. If you're facilitating to a big group of teenagers and one of them ignores your instruction to put their phone away, in many instances, the best thing to do is to carry on and not take it personally. Don't get too hung up on it. It doesn't necessarily mean you're compromising your values, you may just have bigger fish to fry. If, however, that same behaviour was in the context of a cinema, the instruction to put phones away would have been a non-negotiable. In picking our battles, it makes our intervention a lot more effective because we're reserving getting involved for times of serious disruption or safety issues, like chair throwing or bullying, which we don't compromise on.